guys, in this video we are going to be discussing the Byzantine Empire. In this lesson we are going to explain the characteristics of Eastern Orthodoxy. We will also identify the impact of political and legal ideas contained in Justinian's Code of Laws, and we will analyze examples of how art, architecture, literature, music, and drama from the Byzantine Empire reflect the history of the culture where it was produced. By the time that we are finished, you will have analyzed the Justinian's Code of Laws and its influence on the Western world. So let's get started by first talking about Emperor Justinian. Emperor Justinian became the ruler of the Eastern Roman Empire between 527 to 565 AD. And he is known for organizing the existing Roman laws into a single code that was easier to understand and follow. Justinian also created special laws that related to religion, including requiring everyone to belong to the Eastern Orthodox Christian faith. We will talk more about this particular branch of Christianity shortly. His laws established justice throughout the empire, and in fact the word justice is derived from his name, Justinian. And so here we are going to look at a couple of examples from the Code of Justinian, and you are going to answer a journal question based on these examples. So this document can be also found in the back of your notes, and after you read these you will answer the question that follows. This comes from the Code of Justinian, and this is about when someone sues in court. These are the rules that they must follow. So one of the first rules is that you must determine the proof necessary to establish the fact that you are entitled to the money which you claim you have deposited. So in other words, you cannot demand someone pay you money that they owe you if you don't have proof that they owe you that money in the first place. That's one of the rules. The second one here says, he before whom proceedings are brought shall order public documents, both civil and criminal, to be produced for the purpose of being examined in order to judge the truth. So he's saying here that people who are being charged or who are being sued have the right to demand that the documents or the evidence used against them be produced so that it can be examined and the truth can be uncovered. And lastly, persons who wish to bring an accusation must have evidence, for the law does not permit a party to inspect the documents of the other side. Therefore, if the plaintiff does not prove his allegations, the defendant shall be discharged, even if he furnishes no evidence. So what this means is the person who is accusing someone else of committing a crime is responsible for producing the evidence, and it's not the other way around. This is the idea that you are innocent until proven guilty, and you don't have to prove your innocence. It is the burden of the person who is accusing you to prove that you are guilty. So after examining these three examples from the Code of Justinian, what legal principle do all three sections above share? What requirement do they have in common? And lastly, answer, why was the Code of Justinian such an important legal advance? Okay, so now let's talk about the Byzantine Empire after 330. So it started to experience some problems. There's invasions from neighboring groups that are moving in and being aggressive and violent. And so the Eastern Roman Empire is going to collapse and be renamed the Byzantine Empire. Its capital is going to be Constantinople, and this city has been named after the emperor who converted to Christianity. And it's the most important city in the area. It's the crossroads between the East and the West, and it becomes the hub of where all of the business of the empire is going to take place. So the Byzantine Empire, as I mentioned in the previous unit, outlasts the West, and this is because of its prime location between Europe and Asia. Constantinople is a major center for trade, so a lot of money comes through this empire, and they have a very strong central government as well. Their emperors are powerful and respected, and they have a single set of laws that help them rule effectively. On top of that, they have a large and powerful army to keep order and control. So if we look at this map, you can see what the Byzantine Empire looked like after the fall of the West. Everything in pink here consists of the Byzantine Empire after during the time of Justinian, and after his death they even acquired some territories in the west, as you can see here. So the Byzantine culture had a Greek beginning. Greek was the official language, and as a result of some differences between the Christians in the East and the Christians in the West, we see a schism, and that means split. There is a split in religion due to those differences in their culture and practices. The Eastern Orthodox Church is a form of Christianity that was practiced in the Byzantine Empire, and it's still practiced in the eastern parts of Europe. They do not recognize the Pope as the head of church. So the first split in Christianity occurs in 1054 after Jesus' death, and again, the western part of the empire is going to remain Roman Catholic, and we'll talk more about them in the next few lessons. And the eastern part is going to be called Eastern Orthodox. They are both Christian, they just have different ways of practicing the faith. So here are some of the differences between the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox Church. In the Roman Catholic Church, priests were not allowed to marry. Also, veneration, or the worshipping of idols, is allowed under Roman Catholic rules. The Pope is the head of the church and has authority over kings and emperors, and in the Roman Catholic Church, they worship in Latin. In the Eastern Orthodox Church, even though they are also Christian, they have different practices. Priests can marry, and they do not worship any images, only statues. They reject the Roman Pope, and instead they have a patriarch of the church, that is their leader, and he is appointed by the emperor. They also worship in Greek, not in Latin. So lastly, we'll talk about the legacy of the Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire was important because it preserved the ancient culture of the Greeks and the Romans. Greek philosophy and science was very much admired and respected in the Byzantine Empire. Remember that a lot of these eastern lands were once under the rule of Alexander the Great during the Hellenistic era, so there's a lot of Greek culture infused in here, and they also adopted Roman engineering. The Code of Justinian was a legacy of the Byzantine Empire, as it provided some of the basis of the laws that we use today, and they also formed a new form of Christianity, which is the Eastern Orthodox Church. One of the most magnificent pieces of architecture, as you can see in the picture, is the Hagia Sophia, which is the cathedral that was built in Constantinople, and it's one of the world's most beautiful buildings. And as far as the arts are concerned, a lot of beautiful art was produced in the Byzantine Empire. Mosaics and painted icons and gold jewelry and silks were all produced in this area, and they were in great demand through trade. And that's basically all we have on the Byzantine Empire. So if you have any questions, make sure you bring them to class, and thank you for watching.